to us?
That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Yes,
closer.
thank you.
Hello.
So I'm curious.
Yes, sir.
So after you've done a session where you're recording yourself dying in a million horrible ways, what kind of head state are you in after that?
Usually you save it all for the last
Yeah.
day, the last session, and by that time you're like, oh, it's over.
And
Or rather,
right, it's such a big emotional jump, you know, like being set on fire, being eviscerated, all that stuff.
Electrocution is one of my favorites.
Right, falling into spikes. It really.
your spine ripped
Oh, classic. Yeah, it really does take a toll on you, right? So you really kind of do need that weekend to just sort of like decompress and be like, well, recovering from being set on fire again, you know. Like,
what's your process for after?
oh, what's my process? I play a. It's kind of embarrassing, actually. I sit down at my computer and I play like a 6-hour-long strategy game, like like a city builder or something like that. Something my brain already knows what to do and can chew on and can just sort of reset itself. You know? What about you?
I tend to be able to sort of just like switch it on, switch it off, and so like after a big session, a big loud session, I am loud normally. So I just kind of live my life mostly, but sometimes if it is like a really tiring session for whatever reason, I like to do what I call slug rika.
Slug rika.
Where it's like you moisturize, you hydrate, you
it.
sit there on the couch like this playing video games.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Heck yeah.
Now, what's it like for both of you to come into these iconic roles and make it your own? As Sector, as Sub-Zero?
Sector it was great because Sector, while being a legacy character, is a completely different character in this version because MK1 has mixed things up, you know, and also, you know, with timelines, with different realms, with all the resets, it's like nothing's permanent, and so just getting to do something where it honors the sort of legacy of the character while being completely different was a real treat for me. How about you? You had to see the iconic line.
I know, right? So for Bihan, you know, for the past few iterations, I say few, it's been more than a few iterations of Mortal Kombat, we had the hero Sub-Zero, right? You know, the really good guy, he's voiced by Steam Blue, incredible character, right? Now, we're back to Bihan, right? Bihan, traditionally, kind of a dick, not gonna lie, right? Not the nicest person in the world. However, whenever you voice a character like that, these characters never see themselves as the villain, right? They think they're doing good, they think they are doing what is right for them, right? And Bihan obviously is out for his organization, for the Lin Kuei, his people, and he is willing to do whatever needs to be done to do that, right? Should he have had one more hug from his dad before taking over the organization? Yeah, of course, but, you know, as long as you play that character true to his strengths and his faults, you know, you come out with something good.
So, on the topic of Sector, the big reveal was that the character is actually human and not a robot. How did you react to learning about that news? Or is it something you knew was kind of just waiting to announce at the right moment?
So here's the thing, is that was my first time seeing any of the things, you know? So obviously they gave me the script, and so I know all the backstory, but that was my first time seeing it. And like the little smirk on her face as she's walking off, and just like how like the VTOL jets, the armor, I was screaming and crying backstage before I was on there. It was I hope that I will always continue to be surprised and delighted by being part of these workshops. Yes.
So you didn't have any chance to play with your character, like in a match?
Oh, dude,
No,
we wish. That'd
we
be
don't
awesome.
even see. Yeah, we don't even get to see any of the animations. We don't get to see. This is my first time seeing the armor fully. You know, because originally, if you're lucky for an audition, sometimes you'll get some concept art or something like that.
Like a rough sketch or like
rough sketch, you know. But you know, for Mortal Kombat, when you audition for it, you don't know that it's Mortal Kombat, and you can, if you're a nerd, you can kind of guess, you know. But yeah, like it's as much of a surprise to us as it is to everybody else.
Absolutely.
Just curious more.
Go ahead.
So, do you get quick direction on what it sounds like to be electrocuted and all these type of things? I mean, what's your process?
Well, I mean, I think both of us have been doing it enough now where you can be like, if someone asks us to be electrocuted, we have our own way to do it. Oh yeah, so for at least for me, when we were recording fatalities, we did have a director be like, okay, well in this fatality, blah blah blah, you're being pulled apart like this, right? So give me your best being pulled apart by the groin reacts or whatever it ends up being, right? So yeah, there is some direction. It would be pretty funny if they just had us do random paint efforts in a void to be like, yeah, we'll just use them for whatever.
I mean, listen, if you died one death, you died a million others, right? You can just mix and match pains and efforts, and Liam O'Brien has said that the best dying efforts sound like a mix of pooping and intimacy. So, I'm paid to be here.
So what is your favorite death?
Favorite fatality in the games?
No, what was your favorite act of death, electrocution?
Oh, our favorite way that we got offed in the game?
Yeah.
Oh, look, electrocution is always funny because you have this weird motion in your body. So it's always really funny to do. But my favorite's always the gurgly ones, right? Because for a very technical reason, I don't have to scream as loud. Because a lot of it's right?
All in the throat.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt you as much, which is nice.
Yeah, that's the easy one. However, the one that they usually save for last is being set on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Because that just didn't, and that's the one you go all out for, and you give it everything. And so I'm just quite fond of being set on fire.
It is fun.
So, I mean, since we're talking about kind of the flow of takes, from start to finish, can you give a quick rundown of the flow
Of a session?
Yeah.
So we get usually, I don't know for you, but for the scripted stuff, they have the script and they kind of, sort of somebody's scrolling through it, and we'll get to do a full run, but then sometimes punch back in for to do retakes, and then for the efforts, which are the fight noises or the one-liners, we pretty much get a spreadsheet.
Like an Excel sheet, basically.
An Excel sheet, and they go through and they're like, okay, well, give us an A and a B or an ABC, and you just kind of go down, and then they make adjustments. And I think that's the thing too that really surprised me about voice acting, was that a lot of it is just making a choice and then getting directed.
Yeah. And I will say for this game, I don't know if you saw some of the little notes they had next to the little damage things. Some of them are really funny, right? It's arm break react, right? Arm break react, but a little worse, to be honest.
It's good for something like Mortal Kombat is they've had so many years to get real specific about how you're hurt, and so the part of the process is just kind of doing deaths in different little ways.
Yeah. All flavors of dying we hit in this game.
One more question.
Oh, okay. Can you talk to us a little bit about the relationship between Sector and Cyrax in this iteration?
I don't know that I can reveal that, but we did see at the panel there was sort of a cat and mouse game of very, very horror movie shot. It was very cool with Cyrax running through the woods and Sector in pursuit. It was a really great way of showing, I think, their kids and their interactions and having a sort of playful chase scene. But other than that, I don't think I could say much. I don't think I could say anything about story.
We don't want to spoil too much,
Real great stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to discover for sure.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. So
thank you all.
Thank you guys so much.
Being
Really appreciate
here.
it. Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Thanks, you guys.
Enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you guys.
You as
rest of the
well.
con.
Good luck and Godspeed, everybody.